What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
The Beach Bum, directed, written by Harmony Korine, most well known for Kids, crazy movie about skateboarders in New York from I think he made it in the 90s. More recently, Spring Breakers, Gummo. It's kind of like, I would describe him as the art house for degenerates, because he very much doesn't care about rules as far as making movie. He just will, he takes some chances. He throws some swings out there. So I enjoy watching his stuff because it's you never know what you're going to get. Like, I have high hopes that he's going to do like this movie where it's super raw and super real, but also an interesting story and interesting characters, which sometimes his movies lack. But I found it in this. I mean, Spring Breakers was pretty good. I haven't gone back to watch it, but I did remember enjoying it. And it did have, I don't know while watching it if I knew it was a Harmony Korine joint or not, but this movie, The Beach Bum, starring Matthew McConaughey, Snoop Dogg, Isla Fisher. You also got Skinny Jonah Hill. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I love this movie so much. Like, if you can imagine, so McConaughey plays a character, the Beach Bum, who is very much like the extreme, like if you were to take Johnny Depp's character that he's been doing for the last decade, Pirates of the Caribbean, and then every other, he just kind of has this Johnny Depp kind of drunken monkey kind of acting style, just doing it all everywhere. If you imagine like a really well done version of that, where the character actually kind of looks, it's less cartoonish and more real, where he actually kind of looks like he's fucked up and looks like he is that character. That's what McConaughey does with The Beach Bum, I would say. Like, if he got nominated, I would not be angry with it, right? It's a very specific performance. I don't know if he would necessarily get nominated. It is early in the year, so that's not helping him. But I thought it was amazing. The story's amazing. Everything felt real. Like, the complications and complexity of how life is displayed within this movie. But for a Harmony Korine movie, it is gorgeous. Like, the backgrounds of so many of the shots where people are just having conversations are like the most beautiful sunsets. It's all filmed. It's all Florida beaches, like the Miami and the Keys and different places. So it seemed like he filmed most of the movie between, the last few hours of the sun being up. This is gorgeous. And it kind of, the gorgeous background really has, gives the whole movie some contrast, because the subject matter being basically McConaughey is like this homeless guy, but he's a poet. He's well known within the beach communities. He's like a legend. And he goes and he kind of spouts his wisdom as he's kind of stumbling through, like a Hunter S. Thompson kind of type or Bukowski kind of type. But he's more the beach bum, like the hippie version of those guys. Is the McConaughey, where he's kind of living the thing. It's got that kind of typical story you've seen in movies where he's the artist that hasn't created. He was like, and kind of just lost in finding inspiration or whatever it is, where it's like they haven't done their art in a long time. It's like did he give up? But meanwhile, like, you find out that he's married, like he's having all these, sleeping with all these women, kind of sleeping on the beach, getting drunk all the time, doing drugs, just like living the life of somebody that's not attached to society whatsoever, right? But he's this artist guy, so it works out. And it's McConaughey being McConaughey as like, just like friendly drunk guy. And then you find out he's married, right? Which is fine. It seems like they're comfortable. They know what's up. Like, they have an open relationship. Snoop Dogg's in the movie. You find out that, kind of Isla Fisher, who plays the wife, has a thing with Snoop Dogg while they're on the phone. And, but you also find out McConaughey's like, okay, I need to go home. his home is like this giant mansion. Like, so his wife is rich, and so they live in this giant mansion, and he decides to live this kind of homeless beach bum lifestyle, in an attempt to, fuel his art, which he has yet to do any creating of. So super interesting because, you're kind of introduced of like the raw, the real kind of what his life is like, following him through his nights, and how he lives, and then to find out that he's completely rich and they just don't give a fuck. And their neighbor is Snoop Dogg, who's an R&B artist. So they're living, the wealthy lifestyle, driving expensive cars, living in giant homes, kind of with so much money, you kind of don't really have to worry about anything as far as like the law and stuff. So you can get away with a lot of shit. Snoop Dogg is, and aside from just being a recording artist, which, he is in real life, this dude, his character is also like the epic weed grower. Like there's so many awesome scenes in this movie, and you're basically following McConaughey, through his existence, from basically you thinking he's poor to finding out he's rich, and then something happens and he's poor again. But like another kind of thing, like there's these tropes that you would see in cheesy 80s movies, like Millions. Like this one, he has to publish a book, and then he's giving an inheritance. But until he gets that inheritance, he's basically broke, although he is friends with a rich person. So, there is a limit to like once you're rich, it's hard to become broke again, because you're like friends with other wealthy people. You have opportunities to kind of make money a lot faster than if you're poor and you have no connections and you're just like trying to make it from scratch. So it's interesting. So it takes you through this journey, and it ends in the best kind of a way. This is definitely a movie about somebody that's not scared of saying fuck you, that living his life, creating art on his terms. Like when he's writing this book, he's carrying around this old typewriter and paper in just a pillow sack. And then and he's typing throughout his day while he's getting wasted and spending time with interesting people. Like it's visually a lot of fun. Jonah Hill's doing kind of a fun Southern gentleman kind of thing, which is interesting, and he's super skinny, so it's like it works. It's like really weird. He plays his like art dealer, or is not art dealer, but his agent or his book dealer or something like that. And it's kind of a story that you've seen, like the rise and fall kind of story, but done in a way with characters that I don't think I've seen, like a specific blend through, just a little bit clearer, a little bit closer to a reality of the situation. But yeah, I love this movie, man. So far, my favorite movie of the year. Probably my favorite Harmony Korine movie. Gummo's just weird. Kids is brutal, and I'm sure and this one's just, it doesn't really ask you to like stick with it. Like some of those movies like Gummo, you got to stick with it if you're going to watch it. Trash Humpers, you got to know you're sticking with this thing to the end. But this one was just fun to watch, and it's a lot of funny moments. And I'd love to see McConaughey nominated for this. I would not hate on that. That's it. Go watch The Beach Bum. I enjoyed it. Hang loose, brada. And it wasn't on Hawaii, so I don't know why I did that. New episodes of this show come out daily. Subscribe on IGTV and everywhere else podcasts are found. You can binge the full week in advance over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. InspiredDisorder.com for all of my original artwork. Go buy some paintings, y'all. At Ray Taylor for me on all social media. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!